Engineers and scholars, they are crowding up the streets once again as the warm season floods in. I don't know if you're feeling it in your area, but we certainly are over here. It was a 40-degree day yesterday. I mean, God. The cardboard signs and the unshowered hair, it's lining up at every single stoplight of the Red River Valley, folks. It's everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, they're back. The homeless people, they're back at it again. The winter months, they're receding, and as a result, we're losing the streets once again to the mongrels for the summer. Global warming, it's been nice for, the walks in February and whatnot, but if my path is lined with tents, people under bridges, like trolls, I do need to say something about it. I mean, Lindenwood Park and Gooseberry Park, obviously right across the river, they're, a wooded flock zone for these people. They live out in the woods, in these little constructed sheds. They live like witches in the far-off wood in these old English texts that you used to have to read in like literature class. And you can literally see their camp from the parking lot and the playground. You walk off on these trails of these parks, and the torn clothes of either said mongrel or their unfortunate victims just line the leaf-ridden paths. And the scattered nip bottles, the nip bottles that your dad used to buy in order to give himself a little boost throughout the day, the Fireball, the Bailey's Irish Cream, the good shit, that's what lines the... It's not a nice little park anymore in the Fargo Moorhead area. It's kind of a dump. It's like, it's not a fun area to be in. And unfortunately, the residents will tell you that. They had a community meeting about this whole situation not too long ago. This was literally a year ago, per se, where said fella comes up to the mic wearing this dirty shirt, and I'm going to put it in the description so you guys can watch it for yourself, but we're going to skip around, obviously, because it's a little unfocused, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to review what this fella has to say. I'm going to paint the picture for you. He's at the Fargo City Hall meeting, and, they have the stupid little City of Fargo, far more, whatever. This was August 5th, 2024, and this was 2 years ago. You know what I mean? It's the city itself was already entering a state of decline. It's been in a state of decline for when it comes to the homeless population for a while, to the point where they're community representatives. You know what I mean? This man appointed himself the one who will speak for the homeless of Fargo. So he is just a little glasses fella. He's got a gray, dirty T-shirt on. He's a little skinny. He's gangly, but not in a. I'm gonna say it in this way. He's like a skeleton. You know what I mean? Just frail looking. That's the best way to say it. Let's begin with his remarks.
My name is Elizabeth Cook. I am one of the...
His name is Elizabeth Cook. Curious, but all right.
Citizens of Fargo who actually currently lives on these streets.
Lives on the streets, but you're not a resident of Fargo. If you live in the city, but you don't own property, if you don't... that's like that. Sorry, buddy. You visit Fargo. I don't know what you mean by it's your home. You don't have a home. You don't have a place to belong.
Know how this is like. I've seen the opposition to it. I've seen our side of it.
He's very, by the way, you can tell that he is half high right now. He's like, I've seen the proposal about why the city of Fargo really wants to make public camping illegal, but man, it seems like a form of oppression, man. That's here.
And basically, in my opinion, I don't think that making it illegal to camp on public property is really justifiable, or
why?
Nor is it right?
Why?
As every single person in this town is an equal.
No, they're not.
Regardless.
No. Equal of what? In regards to their rights? Yes, every person has equal rights. You do not have a right to camp on public property, though. It's public property as in it belongs to the community. You are not entitled to community property. You're not entitled to strewn about your items. You're not allowed to pitch up a tent in the park. You're not allowed to do those sorts of things. It's against the public's interest for you to be making a nuisance of yourself like that.
Title or position in the community.
Not true.
I've been through this a time or two. I know what it's
So
like.
you can already see that he's coming at it from the socialist angle. No one really owns anything, man. The earth is just kinda... We all share it, and we should all have the same rights to the same level of property. And just to be throwing fuckers in jail for one night, or 30 nights is what he said, literally at the end of his speech. He goes, 1 to 30 nights, what does it even matter, guys? Like, let's just get real, guys, man.
Like, I go to the engagement center where we're doing all these things to help people. I'm a client there. I've got friends that are there.
Sound like a client there.
I'm one step in the right direction. We're pushing forward towards moving toward housing for us, for our 2 other people in my family. And in my opinion, I just don't think that
if you're interested in housing, then you shouldn't be interested in camping in the park.
It's fair to charge people or fine them just to camp somewhere, whether it's for a night or it's 30 days.
Yes.
It doesn't seem right in my heart to just push people who are already at their lowest to continue to be brought down further.
Really?
I highly disagree with this motion.
Well, good thing you're not an elected official. Let's hear this very succinct, solid response from one of the sitting members of the board. As you can see, she'll probably give her name. I don't know.
No, I'm sorry. John did a recommendation to change the motion. I need a motion.
God, shut up.
Can I just...
Tim Mahoney, stop instructing these fucking meetings if you can't keep up with the energy of the room. I need someone to make a motion. Can I speak on this? Yes, Boss Queen, you can.
Make a comment on this? That it's not illegal to be homeless, and no one is saying that. However, you have residents who are fearful for their lives. There was a rape this weekend under the bridge. There have been I cannot even tell you how many emails and phone calls I get of people fearful for their lives to walk on the trails and under the bridge. They've been attacked, they've been accosted, proposition asked.
And he goes, what's the issue with that? It's those people's rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that they're allowed to take your watch. They're allowed to harass your children if you take them to the park on some random day because, well, this is when they were trying to, looking to remove homeless encampments in high-profile areas, and I support the motion wholeheartedly, and any decent-minded person on this would, because they realize that vagrancy, camping out on the streets, avoiding homeless shelters is the choice that cowboys make, the choice that these off-the-grid fuckers who want to, like I say, eat beans out of a can and they want to sit next to a fire. Hey, that way of life is dead. And it's not real anymore. And if you can only do that if you make enough money to have a van that you can drive off to some part of Alaska where no one's going to give a fuck about you, so that you can go off in some state park and camp. That's how you can camp. You can't do it in the streets. You can't do it in a society anymore. It's just not allowed.
For needles, their nakedness,
yes,
defecation into the
nakedness, river. Defecation into the river. By the way, that's exactly why no one eats from the Red River, because they know that it's filthy.
It's unsanitary and it's unsafe. And it's not fair to every other citizen.
The people who pay property tax, who pay to live in the society, it's not fair to them. The people who make something of themselves every day, rather than fuck-offs like this guy who can't even bother to put on a collared shirt when he's showing up in front of the fucking board of the city that he claims to be a resident of.
Who should also be able to use these
clown
trails
ass
and
yes,
enjoy our downtown, to have to come across this.
Yes.
Do I have a motion, please?
Not controversial.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. People are signed up for public comments. It's our rules. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair, I have a few comments and questions for Nancy, if that's okay. So the ordinance, I think, is excellent, Nancy. The sixth whereas, where it starts, the title of it is, a municipal code relating to camping on public property. That sixth one veers into the homelessness thing, and I think that's a separate. I wish that could be a separate thing included in the resolutions. To me, that would be my only request, that we keep the ordinance tight and focused on the eliminating camping on public property. That's my request.
That's my request. You're not solutions oriented.
The resolutions, to me, that's a separate thing where we start getting into a lot of different things, and I do think.
Well, you know what? Okay, if I was on the board of the city, of Fargo, which I'm not saying I'm running, which you know what I mean. I might have to go across the river. I might have to establish my feet in that city for a couple of years. I might have to door knock, and I might have. Listen, it'll be a very Huey Long situation. If I ever get into a place of power, I'm never leaving. That's the situation. You will see me die in a place of power before I give it up. That's just a fact. Here's the solution. Homeless shelters are the only option. if I propose this, Fargo, we do that thing in what is it Snowpiercer? Yes, where we pump into the atmosphere a bunch of shit to make it super extra cold. I'm proposing a global freeze out, and anyone unfortunate enough to not have access to property or family with property is taken in what we call the Great Freeze. In the history books, we will say that it was we couldn't have planned for this. Oh, this was just like a once in every 1,000-year freeze out or whatever. But we won't say that it was government made, government oriented, whatever. We're gonna freeze out the entirety of the populace, and only the people who are decent enough to be automatons who go to work every day, good goyim. Only those folks who are able to afford property. Those people are the only ones that we will allow to continue throughout the civilization. It's a beautiful vision, folks. If you have a better final solution, I'd like you to leave it in the comments, because quite frankly, the vagrancy, we gotta address it. We gotta do something about it, folks.